Hello, this is Gene. I'm here to give you some of my thoughts. It's been a while since I've videotaped anything. Got my son in the room, so there might be times that I might look at him. He might do something to me to try and get a rise out of me. But he's just looking at me right now, kind of like, what am I doing? So, I'm going to talk about four things. Hopefully I won't talk too long, but just to get it off my chest. For you people out there. First one I'll talk about is Brady again, and then Hulk Hogan, and that really relates to Donald Sterling. It's the same type of thing. I want to talk about that. And at the end I want to talk about white privilege. One of my cousins, which I have not seen probably once or twice in my life, she's very liberal, feminist, who put a post on her Facebook page today, and I want to address that. I don't know that she'd will ever see this, but I did want to I was going to like cut and paste some things that I've seen before about that and put it on her Facebook page, but I don't think she wanted it for that. I think she just wanted to get something out and get her feelings out there. And at the end of the day, that's what it was. It's her female feelings, and that's one of the biggest problems with feminism. So let me start with Brady. I found out on the way back today from Walmart, and I got to watch a couple people there. That was kind of funny to see Walmart watching. But anyway, talking about now how the union is now trying to get some sort of settlement with Brady on the whole Deflategate thing. And those who've actually watched my videos before know what I said about Brady, and I still believe it. He cheated, and he should serve the four-game suspension. If it was me, I would have suspended him for a year, because he did provide a rule. To me, it's no different than what Lance Armstrong did. He lied, and he lied to the NFL, and he lied to the fans about it. The reason I want to talk about this now, the union is trying to get some sort of settlement that they'll both be happy with. And I'm just wondering why they do that really for him. In this day we talk about white privilege and stuff. And this might be the one time that I actually would say that this is what it is, because what he is the white hope for the NFL. Was he won 4 Super Bowls now? Or 5? I don't even know. And the idea that he's basically going to walk away from this, and guys like Ray, the guy from Baltimore that hit his wife, or actually his girlfriend, he can't get a job. Adrian Peterson was out for a year. Now he still got his money, but he was out, basically suspended forever. And people want to compare this to when Hardy came back and it went from a 10-game suspension to 4, and they want to say we can't. It's not the same thing. Well, it's not. There's a different reason. If you get in trouble for hitting your wife or your girlfriend or something like that, if the NFL wants to just kick you out, they can do that. But when somebody actually interferes with the game itself, trying to get a bit edge for it, it should be punished severely. But my point I'm trying to say is that this guy, because he is like a big star in the league, they're going to basically just let it go. And what I don't understand is the union is going to support him, but the other black players, it is a black dominated sport. If I was them, I would strike. If they allow him, and if he ends up not getting any games and just has a fine, if I was them, I would strike and walk out. There were several black Americans, African American players that come out and said how they're happy that he's going to be, that he was suspended, that it's nice to see that somebody that quote unquote is white and has a privilege in the NFL, that he's the golden boy, that they're actually going to do something to him. If they just let it, well, that's my other son's singing. it's one of those things that if I was them, I remember, like the guys in the '60s that did at the Olympics in '68, with the Black Power thing. I respect that. Of course, I was 3 back then, but I respect that faith, that power. And if they let him come back and he doesn't have any suspension for what he did, and the idea that he's trying to keep saying to us that he wasn't part of it, why would these guys who made $25,000 a year, why would they done that to footballs without his approval? It makes no sense. And if it was me and I was a player in the league, and I thought there was some sort of racial bias when they make their decisions based on punishment, and they let him walk, I would, if I was him, I'd walk out, and then what would the unions do then? To me, he should have took it at the very beginning when I said he should have said, look, we weren't really trying to defame the game. We were trying to get it better for me, and I asked those guys to do that, and maybe they do it exactly the way I wanted it, and it won't happen again, and this would all been taken care of, but he couldn't do that because he thinks he's above all this shit. So, again, but let's go on to the next topic, and it's about Hulk Hogan. And I'll have to say that I am a wrestling fan. However, there was a time in my life when I was young that I liked it, but when I was about 10 or 11, I kind of got away from it because that's when you find out that it's fake. So I didn't really know who Hogan was until I saw him in Rocky. Was it 2 or 3? And I'm like, oh, like that. And I didn't really, even then, after watching that, I didn't all of a sudden get back into wrestling. I didn't go in until the Attitude Era was up when I was in my 20s, and that was when Caitlin got born, and she would sit there and watch the games with me, or the matches with me. Basically, while Kim was going to work or school, we just sit up and watched it. For some reason, I think I only watched because she kind of watched it. She liked to see it. So I don't know if it was the different lights or the characters and stuff. She watched it. So I sit there and I got back into it again. It was much more more risque back then than it is now. It's PG-13 area now. So yes, Hulk Hogan got taped by saying something stupid while he was going through all the shit in his life, when he was on drugs all the time, and he was an alcoholic and all that stuff. And I definitely do not defend what he said. However, this is another case when you're at your own house, in your own house. Now, yeah, he was screwing his friend's wife. So the morality of this guy, I don't really, he doesn't have any in my mind. And what he believes when he's at home during these things, I don't really care. But the fact that the WWE just went too crazy on it, something happened 9-10 years ago, saying that this is what he said, and that kind of revolves me back to what happened to Sterling, and what Sterling and also what Hogan have said, and what we know that they have said, was very. Let's say that the choice of language was not right. Okay. But each one of those things was talking about the same thing. Sterling he felt disrespected because she was out taking pictures of her with other guys, whether it be black or not, because it made him look a lower human man, because you're out looking like you're fucking all these people. What Hogan talked about in his diatribe, which I haven't even heard it, but I've seen the transcripts, is that at the end of it, he said, well, unless if she finds a guy, and if he's black, of course he said, though he didn't say those words, make sure that they're like 8 feet tall so they can make enough money for her. And I think what happened to Hogan, and I think that his daughter, his wife, looked at himself as a dollar sign, and somehow in his mind that's what he wants for his kid, that whoever a man that she marries, don't really matter if it's black or blue or whatever, has a lot of money to support her. And he looked at any husband for her would be another dollar sign. And that's unfortunate. And it's another thing that's happened in the last 40 years in this country, that all we've used men for is to be the workers and dollar signs for our very privileged female sect. That's just the way it is. And you can walk around and you can hear it. And all the media sources and all the stuff on here, it's I got to go out. I mean, there's some other show that came out about wives of soccer players, and they're all talking about we have this little clique, you know, and you have to be either married or a fiance, and they talk about just find a way to marry these guys so they can get the money. Now, is it scripted? Maybe these people love each other, and maybe the guys should wake up to realize that a lot of people are like this. And it didn't just change. There's always been that way, that women, their female nature, they want to be provided for and protected. But they've just taken it so far now, because it's just you have to have the money, and they want the fame, and they want that just by being they're not really empowered at all. They're known as just using, you know, that part of their body to get what they need. And at the end of the day, to me, they're whores. So, but as far as Hogan is concerned, or Terry Bollea, the guy's gone through a lot, and he's had bad times. He's been told by a lot of people in the industry, said he's an asshole, and a lot of them are probably happy that he's going through this. He's repackaged himself many times. He lost all his money. He's come back. Like I said, I didn't really like him. I didn't like him when I actually got back into wrestling. He wasn't even relevant back then. When he went to WCW, that's when he became a relevant part of the New World Order. So I watched it, but I never really liked him. Never, you know, he's okay. I wouldn't put him anywhere in my top 10, but really, as far as wrestling is concerned, he's probably number 1 all the time. And to me, it's just another way to knock down a great man, as Bill Burr used to say. Not he's a great man. I'm talking about, you know, he was a character that was looked at. But he said, you know, 8 years ago, he had bad problems in life. A woman left, his wife left him. I'm sure 90% of that was on him. Here I am. I'm a guy. I'm saying that it's his fault. I'm sure it was both. How about that? His son was in prison, and I think he was in prison because he killed somebody when he was drunk or something like that. He was addicted on pain medications, and that's rampant in all physical type sports. And people who don't think that wrestling is not a sport, they're stupid. They get hurt just as much or worse than guys in the NFL. And also he was, you know, and his life choices were stupid. You know, he would find a girl that looks just like his daughter or his mom. I mean, he was in a bad place, and he said things at that time that he shouldn't have said. I'm not in his brain. I find it hard to believe that anywhere in his real heart of hearts that the man's a racist. I don't believe it. And it's hard. I guess he could be that way. The problem I have is with the WWE. You know, there are several clips out there of Vince McMahon who said that word, and, you know, in different ways. And was it part of a character? Yes, but he said it several times on air. He put black people in characters that they were subservient to white men. You know, Ted DiBiase, the millionaire, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yes, that's just their art. It's not real. And it's rare. I don't think we've ever had a WWE championship well, I guess The Rock is black. So he's been the only one that's won the actual WWE championship. I know that Booker T won it with the other title. It's just one of those things. He probably deserves it over his life. Some of the stupid thing he's done. He probably doesn't deserve a 3rd or 4th or 5th chance. But I'm not going to bury him over it. I'd rather bury him on the fact that I don't think he's relevant. You know, and I think he was doing okay on Tough Enough. I think he's been a decent judge on that. Better than Page with her craziness ways. So I don't know if they're going to stop that show. I don't know. We'll find out. So to me, I think they are related, and they destroyed Sterling for something saying to his basically whore of a girlfriend, and she knew all along, and she was baiting him all along to get this. And he tried to, and I don't know if this is part of the Gawker for Hogan, if that's the same sex tape that he's trying to keep that from being out there. But anyway, that's all I really want to say about that. The last thing I want to talk about is I have a cousin out there she's I don't know. I wouldn't say that she's Marxist, but she's one of those people that have been, she's a social justice warrior, but she actually does things. She actually works in the community, and she's part of outreach and stuff like that. But she said something I put on her post talking about how we as white, we don't have to worry about the fact that we're white, that we don't have to sit there and defend that, where everybody else you can say, well, he's a black, or he's that. We don't have to worry about that. And basically, it was a big long rant about white privilege, and she's basically she has the same old things that we don't understand it, and if we talk about it, but that we don't understand it. So I just want to let her know that I understand it. It's not right. Some things maybe I do get away with because I'm white, but there is no such thing as privilege. And there's a couple, I think it was Goodfellows. He's a YouTuber, and he went through it for like 30 minutes about it. If you have privilege based on race, that means everybody that's in that race would have that same type of privilege. And the point is, and I hope that she sees this, is that 94% of all workplace deaths are males. Of those, probably about 70% of those are white. We're also men, and most of them are white men that commit more suicides than women do. We go to jail longer than a white woman. Now, we don't go as much, probably for the same type of crime as a black man. So do I believe there's something in that needs to be changed, to be reformed? Sure, of course I do. I guess the point I'm trying to get across there is that when you talk about privilege, and you talk about based on the fact that you have a white skin, that suddenly things are just given to you, and that's just not true. Things that are actually, if you want to talk about that, that'd be maybe a more of a economical type of area, but it's not based on race. In fact, I would hope she would know this, that there are several scholarships based on your race that a white man can't get. Also, you get different type of scholarships just because you're a woman that a white man can't get. I'm not going to sit there and say that all women are privileged, but they have certain rights that men don't have in this country. It's just, I think that when you go to a liberal university, and you see things from your own lens, from the atrocities that you see in the black community or the Hispanic community, and you think that it's all basically, because she won't say it, and it's not really in there, but I'm sure this is all about, because if you want to talk about white privilege, and then of course the next thing will be, if you have this conversation, it's going to say, well, who's actually in power? And they're going to say, of course, it's white men. So I'm going through all that to get to the real point here, is that she is basically blaming all white men, that only white men have privilege in this society, and that's absolutely not true. There's when a woman who came from a upper middle income family, had her mom and dad there with her, she goes to school, and then she talks about stuff like this when she hasn't lived what is privileged and what's not privileged. Of course, I'm going to listen to what she has to say, and I'm not going to say that she's been indoctrinated to any sort of feminist ideology, because that's exactly what it is, where it's really the men's fault. And let's go further down than that. Let's make it's only white men. You know, that it's their fault because we're the ones that did everything. When we talk about slavery, it's only a white issue. That's never happened anywhere else in the world, just here. So that's all they really worry about. And they don't think that white people don't get killed by cops. We get killed twice more than black people do. Now, of course, they're only 12 to 13% of the population, but we still get beat. We 67% of those who kill or get killed by cops are white guys or white people, and those are almost always white men. So, I don't think the cops really care who they kill. Are there bad cops that who do racial profiling? Yes, but I just don't understand the post there. I don't understand putting it on your Facebook, saying that, well, you're white, you don't understand the type of privilege that you have. And I don't think she actually said that word privilege, but that's what it was. I mean, anybody that's seen this type of doublespeak or feminist theory type stuff, when they try to like gloss over it to something to be like, well, we should just be more aware of the fact that we're white and we get better things for us because we're white. I think that most people they just don't really give a shit about what color they are. Should I be happy that I was born white? The only thing that I'm happy about is that I was born at all. And I would ask her, if she ever sees this, I don't know her position on pro-choice or pro-life. The only thing I'm happy about is I was born. And the fact that we're allowing 500 or 600 or millions of people being killed every year, based for what? You're going to tell me that because the Republicans will not take care of the babies if they're being born by the wrong type of people, that's the reason why we think it's okay to do this? I don't understand it. I'm somebody who came from the left side of the political spectrum. 30 years ago, I probably would have been considered myself a feminist. But what's happening now? It's wrong. We try to treat everybody with respect. And if somebody in this, men are the majority in this country. White men are the majority as far as white, as black, or as male in the United States. So when we actually stand up about certain things, and we get not only shut down by other women, we get put down by other men. If we're just talking about really stupid things, not stupid things, but important things like circumcision, suicide rates, the fact that men or boys are just falling behind in primary and secondary education. These are things that we want to bring up, and we're told that we hate women, that we're against women's rights, that we're part of a hate movement. It disgusts me in so many ways, because I was there when I thought things were not going well for women or black people and all that stuff. And the fact is, it's hard for me because some of the people that I listen to or believe some of their other ideas are so fucked up. I've got nowhere to go because the left has got so polluted when it comes to gender politics and this whole race thing. Instead of us trying to treat everybody the same and give some sort of standards that we have, I'm just rambling. But the point is this. Again, I'm going to support whatever she has to say. I am not going to be somebody that would tell her she shouldn't talk because she's young or she doesn't know or anything like that. And at some point in her life, maybe she'll have some more experiences to say that it's not really the fact that you're white that you get away with everything. It's not that way. It's just not. We get killed by. It's a multifaceted type type of issues that need to be fixed. The white race needs to understand that and say, we need to be more supportive. But the black people need to be that way, and so does the Hispanic people and all that stuff. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's not fruitful. She can put that out there, and she can feel that way. I'm just thinking all the times that I have all these privileges, Anyway, well, that's all I have. If you have anything else you want to talk to me, put it in my comments. Tell me I'm an asshole. I really don't care. I am that demographic that everybody says is the worst thing in ever. I am a 50-year-old white man, heterosexual, loyal to my wife, been married once. That's just me. I'm the bad guy. Okay. Do we need to reform things? Yes. Is it possible that there's racism in the prison system? To me, I think it's more sexist than it is anything else, and that includes black men. So, till we make women responsible for their actions when it comes to legalities, I really want to stop, but it's hard because when a woman who's basically grew up in privilege talks about things like this, it kind of it doesn't upset me. I don't think she just understands the whole story. I definitely didn't grow up in privilege, but I made it through. I had an avenue. I went to the Air Force, and I was responsible for a lot of things. It's very rare that today that women that age are responsible for anything. I'm going to stop now. Anyway, you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.